Hello, welcome to Monday Mini Medicine Card Readings, and I'm just making a note to myself that I should be looking at my hair before I start the video. Hello and welcome. Wow, that's really bad. Sorry. I am Patrick. I am the owner of Perching Wolf Studios, and I am here to do some readings for you. So, just getting kind of set up, let people realize that we are live. Just, oops, lighten the candle, lighten up some sage. And so, hey Kelvin, I'm just going to smudge my cards here. So, thank you everybody for coming on. Hey Ariel. What we are doing is mini Monday mini medicine card readings. That's it. So I got my cards here. Just lighten up my sage a little bit. Hey, hello everybody. Thank you for joining me. Good to see you. Hey Nadia. Awesome. Lots of people today. Thank you guys. Awesome. Just gonna smudge my cards. Get them all nice and energetically clear. So, gosh, oofda! I'm here. I've been spending the day. Well, I spent at least a couple hours sitting at the river doing pipe ceremony and talking to my guides and stuff, and thanks for that, Kelvin. Then I came home and napped a bit and then had a whole bunch to write. So I'm funky I should just stop making excuses, because I'm pretty much wonky all the time, right? Oh, I'm sorry I'm tired. Oh, I'm sorry I'm feeling off. But I am always perfect as I am, just like you are perfect the way you are. Every moment, every day, you are perfect. And perfection doesn't mean that you're at the end of your growth. You're just perfect wherever you are, and wherever your next step goes is perfect as well. So what we are doing, these are the medicine cards. Hence the name Mini Medicine Card Readings. So these cards in case you've never seen cards like these before, each card has different totem animals. And each animal has its own message, its own medicine, its own symbology, its own message. And so what we are going to do is I'm going to pull 3 cards and just lay them on the table in front of me here. And your job is to pick a number from 1. You get to choose a number 1, 2, or 3. Or you can pick 2 of those numbers or all 3 of them, whatever you decide. And I will go through one at a time and give you the message coming through for you. And that is the animal or animals that are walking with you through your week, giving you guidance. Okay. So, thank you everyone for watching. If you're new here, welcome, welcome. I hope you enjoy it. And if you hear the birds in the background, my cat has a TV habit. And she's watching, my cat's watching TV, watching the birds and the squirrels and stuff. So, anyway. So, I'm going to pull 3 cards. You choose a number 1 through 3. And we will go from there. Sound good? All right. All right, so here we go. So if you chose number 1, you got our old friend Possum. My first question when Possum pops up, if I'm doing a reading for someone and Possum pops up, my first question is there some drama going on in your life right now? Because drama, I mean, Possum is the dramatist of the animal kingdom. Possum is the actor. Their main defense being playing Possum, right? Playing dead. And so when Possum comes along, it's a sign to, like, look at your life, but kind of to step back from your life and to look upon, like, to get some perspective, become the beholder of your life rather than being caught in the middle of your life, if that makes sense. And yeah, Feather, I only do 3 cards now because of the time. Like, if I do, I originally start, if you've been with me for a while, I used to do 6 cards. And that gets longer and longer. Like, I'll start talking for 1.5 to 2 hours, and not sure people want to wait that long to get their cards. Plus, I've also, every other Monday, I work at Crescent Moon Gifts in Tacoma doing readings all day long. And so after doing readings all day long, it seems better to do 3. And so I just do 3 now. So, I'm sorry. But if you want a full reading, feel free to connect with me, and I can do a complete reading of how many cards? 5 cards when I do a full reading for someone. So anyway, so a possum, number 1, a possum is to remind you that you are not the character you are playing in your life, that you are an actor, that the ego, the image, the person you think you are, the personality, is a character. You are the actor stepping into that role. You know, and I was just talking to my fiance about this. There's this great book. It's called The Education of Oversoul 7 by Jane Roberts. She's the one who used to channel Seth. If you're familiar with the Seth material, I love Seth. Seth is kind of one of my default people that I go back to, like when I'm really, really confused or out there and need to clarify things. It's like Seth is one of the ones that I go back to. But anyway, so this book, The Education of Oversoul 7, it's a fictional book, but it's also based on higher, like, spiritual principles, and it's entertaining and it's funny, and it's about Oversoul 7, and he is dealing with I believe in the book he's got 7 various lives throughout different times. So like in the morning, he's like this ancient Roman. In the afternoon, he's this one. And so he's like up here. That's who you truly are. You are not this body, this being. It's part of who you are, but you are so much more than the body, than the ego. And, you know, because ultimately we are all source energy. We are all divine. We are all part of that same source of creator. And so if we were each to do our spiritual work, our spiritual growth, going deeper and deeper into ourselves, further, like closer and closer to our source, we're all going to end up at the same place. Just like I just saw a meme about when you're climbing a mountain, there's no wrong paths. Everybody's going to get to the top of the mountain no matter which path they take, right? So as we're going along our spiritual paths, as we're growing and evolving, and the spiritual growth is not about acquiring new layers of things. It's about casting off the old layers of stuff that we have been buried under. You know, who we are is in our hearts all the time. And the spiritual path is about uncovering that. Uncovering the, eons long belief systems and expectations and whatever else that tells us who we think we are. And when we uncover all of that and we come back to who we truly are, we are love, we are joy. That is who we are in our essence. And that's, we are all one. We're all different, diverse, but we're all one because we're all facets of the same source, right? So if we come back into, follow that oh my gosh, I forgot what hero it was with the Minotaur. Perseus? No, I don't remember. But anyway, with the Minotaur and having the thread, that, oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time remembering names tonight. But it's the spider goddess from ancient Greece. She gave the thread to the hero so that he wouldn't lose his place in the labyrinth when he went to get the Minotaur. He could go in, slay the Minotaur, and then he had that thread to lead him back out again. And if we all follow that thread through the labyrinth of our experiences back to our source, we're all one in that source, right? So this is about just not having to go all the way back to source, but just to step back to a place where you have perspective on your life. You look at your life. I always tell people to look at their life as though it were a sitcom, right? And realize that just like a TV show or just like a movie, it's an adventure, right? And you don't know what's going to happen ahead of time. And the thing is, so we all come into our lives. We come in, we have connections with other people. We have agreements with other people, other souls, that we're going to come into this life and we're going to play specific roles with each other. And we kind of have a rough script. Well, it's okay to improv. It's okay to go off script. Throw your script away. Because a lot of, especially right now, as different structures are collapsing, different, basically the patriarchy, the hierarchy of society is crumbling. And it's not a bad thing. Doesn't need to be a scary thing, because we are rising it's getting out of the way so that love can take its place. I know I sound like a hippie, but it's falling because love is rising, and the sense of equality and respect and honor of each other, and seeing the love and the divinity in each other. Those structures don't need to be there anymore. And so I am just rambling, and I don't know where I'm going with all of this. I'm so sorry. But so we come in, and we have all these expectations. We're like, okay, we go into this situation with this specific person, so this is what I need to say. Or if they say this, then I say this, like a computer program or something. And when we do that, we're not really present, right? We're just reading a script in our head, or we're just, so, especially in this day and time, it is more than acceptable to throw out that script. Improv. Be present. Speak from your heart, rather than, okay, they said this, so I need to reply this, and then they're going to say this, and then I'll say this, and then I'm going to do that. And, playing a script where we're kind of zombies, just kind of sleepwalking through our lives, just going through the routine. Okay, I do this every day at this time, I do this every day, and talk to this person, and I say this, and they say that, blah, 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 blah. How boring is that? And how, especially being on a spiritual path, the whole point is about being present. Be here now. And so that's what Possum brings to us, is go off script. It's time to lose the fourth wall, speak to the audience, and just be present and speak from your heart. The thing is that not only helps you to be present, for you to be more authentic, which is kind of the goal to me in this life, is to be as authentic as you possibly can, as genuine. And by doing that, you almost force people to go off their scripts. They have to be present because they can't come up with preconceived ideas or responses to reply to you. If you're speaking, like coming out of the blue with something, they have to go into their heart and come up with something, and in the moment, right? And that's not comfortable, so people are going to hate that. Other people will love it because they don't have to go through the script, and that you'll wake people up that way. Otherwise, people will hate it and they'll avoid you, but you gave them the gift of that moment, of being aware that there was something beyond the script, that there is an unpredictability of life, that there is a wild factor to life, that everything is not preordained. And so it just kind of opens their heart just that little bit, when they realize that there's something else, and they might just go right back into the routine and everything, but you're planting seeds, and who knows how long it takes seeds to germinate, right? So the best thing you can do is to be your authentic self, speak from the moment, be present in the moment, and, go through your life. I mean, we still have responsibilities, we still have to pay our bills, etc., etc. So we still have to make sure those things are taken care of, but we can do it from the point of view of realizing that on some level that's all illusion, and that we are just actors, like Shakespeare said, the world's a stage and we each play a part. And get back into the consciousness of the actual actor rather than the character. Does that make sense? So live your life, fulfill being the character, but from the perspective that that you're just acting. I know as a cartoonist myself, my characters are always talking to me in my comment. Like, I've got these 3 characters that I've been drawing since well, 2 of them I've been drawing since I was like knee-high to a grasshopper. It's a dog and a worm. And then there's a 3rd one that joined later. So it's like kind of this trio of characters I have that I draw. And a lot of times my comics are just them narrating my life, like, oh my God, what is Mr. Cartoonist Dude doing now? You know? And so they're constantly commenting on my life, and they're like, self-aware. That's it. It's self-aware. When you realize, like, they realize that they're comic characters and that their existence is because of me drawing them. But they use that, and then they like comment back. They talk to me all the time and give me comments, and especially the one is really cynical and is always like, oh my God, what a lame brain cartoonist, you know, stuff like that. So be that character that talks, like, ignore the 4th wall. Be the actor, not the character. Live your life as though it were a sitcom. You know, give yourself that perspective to look at your life as if you're watching it on TV. And that helps us to laugh at ourselves, because if that happened on a TV show, like, oh my God, that would have been hilarious. You know, also, one of the things that I always do, if I have to make a choice, if I'm at a decision point in my life, rather than doing the pros and the cons and that kind of thing, I'll just kind of be quiet for a little bit, and I'll think to myself, when they make a movie of my life, what would be the coolest thing I could do right now? You know, like, what would I do right now that would be so cool in a movie? If this were in a movie, if I were writing a story, what would I make that character do right now? And then do that. It's amazing, because when you move forward with that confidence, knowing that the world revolves around you, you are the character. You're the main character of your life. You are the hero of your story. And so your world literally revolves around you. Everything you do, it's like a Rubik's Cube, you know, like every time you move one of the cubes, all the cubes move. And so you are the center of the stage. And so everything responds to what you do, what you decide. And so every step you take changes your world. And then the world changes to reflect what decisions you have made. So be the star, you know? Glam it up. Or, you know, just be who you want to be. Be who you came here to be. No rules. Still, you know, pay your bills or not, you know. If you decide, you know, well, okay, I've had enough of this, you know, comfort and housing and food. I think I'll be homeless for a while. There's no judgment. You know, you want to feel like, oh, I don't want to pay my bills, I'm going to go live on the street for a while, or to see what happens, like all of a sudden you get some big windfall or something and you don't have to worry about that, you know. So just know that the world is a stage, and know that in this quantum universe, this holographic universe where everything is an illusion, that everything is possible. For instance, I don't know if I mentioned this, I probably mentioned it last week, but a week ago, this last Saturday, my fiance and I were in a car accident, and it totaled her car. We're fine, but we're like, the whole time we're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And all of a sudden, boom, the insurance, like, here's a rental car, right? So she had a rental car. She has a rental car for a short time. And all of a sudden, boom, a dear friend of mine texted me when she heard about my fiance's car. And she's like, you know, I have this extra car that I just bought a new car 6 months ago. I still have my old one. It's in great shape. And I've just been holding on to it, waiting to figure out whose car it is, who to give it to. here you go. Who would have guessed that? Who could have written that into a script, right? It's like, boom, out of the blue. She lost a car, and all of a sudden, boom, she has a car. It's like, you never know. Miracles are what happens when you get out of the way. You know, we have so many preconceived ideas of what the future looks like, of what's possible, of what we can expect, but don't get our expectations too high. Screw that. You know, dream and expect wonderful, expect miracles. That is the way of the world. So know that you are not, no matter where you find yourself right now, you are not trapped in somebody else's story. You are the hero of your story, and miracles happen. Look at movies and TV shows. You look at some of the characters that are in the worst conditions, and they become the greatest heroes. Right? So take advantage, take the opportunity of what you're experiencing now and say, how do I change this? Who can I become from this? You know, I keep reading the comments and I'm getting distracted. Sorry. That's why I tend to, please don't take it personally if you ask a question and I don't respond to you on here, because I get distracted and then start answering questions and then I like, phew. And like now, I don't remember what I was going to say. But, so anyway, know that you are the hero, that you are not at the beck and call or whim of anyone else. You are writing and directing your own story. And there is always a way out. I remember what I was going to say. Thank you. Martha Beck once said something about, if you take your greatest struggle, your greatest challenge, and you combine that with your greatest love, your greatest passion, whatever calls you, whatever like makes you sing, you take the best of you, that passion, and you take the worst thing that's ever happened to you, put them together, that is your purpose. So you take the worst thing, the worst situation that's happened to you, combine it with your passion, there's your direction. So you are never trapped. You are source energy. You are not the character in your life. You are not the ego self in your life. You are the actor. You are God acting as, state your name. So, okay. So that's possum. That's number one. And this is why I went from 6 to 3, because it's a little more manageable, because I just spent like a half hour on one card. So I figured leave them wanting more. So anyway, so 2. Number 2, if 2 is the card you called, what you got was squirrel. I was just looking because my cat was watching TV, watching the squirrels and the birds. I put on a cat TV thing for her, but it's over. But I had the squirrels coming right up to the camera, and she'd be like, "Ah, where are you?" And anyway, so squirrel. God, talk about being squirrely. That's kind of me right now. Squirrel is about resourcefulness. Squirrel is about playfulness. We have this idea of squirrel, like in our Western society mentality, we think of squirrel as this serious, gotta work, gotta hide things away for the winter, gotta save for the future, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Squirrel lives in the moment. Squirrel plays. Everything squirrel does is play. You know, he finds a nut. He's like, woohoo, and he buries it, because that's what squirrels do. And he finds another nut, and he buries it, woohoo, because that's what squirrels do. He's not thinking about the future. He's not thinking about the winter. He's like, nut! I love burying nuts! And so he buries them. And then because he's present in the moment and doing what he loves to do, doing what his heart calls for him to do. In the future, he just happens to be taken care of because, hey, I buried a nut there. I'm hungry. I'm going to eat it now. It's not, and I'm not saying you can't plan for the future. I'm not saying that, that plans or, planning like having a retirement fund or whatever. I'm not bashing that at all. I'm just saying that when you take care of yourself in the moment, you automatically take care of your future self. Because when you're present, just like I was talking about with Possum, knowing that miracles happen, and when you're present here, not worrying about what's going to happen in the future, or denying this moment, sacrificing this moment for the sake of a future moment, like nose to the grindstone right now to make sure I'm going to have food on the table 10 years from now or whatever, then you're living in scarcity. That's squirrel in reverse. Squirrel has an abundance. Squirrel is abundant, and he's abundant because the entire forest lives for his sake, at least in his eyes, as the hero of his story. The forest lives for his sake, and the forest gives him more nuts than he could possibly bury, more nuts than he could possibly eat in a lifetime. And so squirrel lives in abundance. He knows that he's got food. He knows that he doesn't have to suffer or worry about where things are coming from because he lives in the flow. And if you've ever watched a squirrel running, I mean, they run like the flow. They run like a wave. And so there's this playfulness. There's this resourceful. They know that they have everything they need in the moment. And by doing what they love, doing what their heart calls them to do, everything falls into place in their future. And in fact, if this is your card, you probably have more resources than you realize you do. Because, like in my classes and stuff, I talk about walking in beauty. That's kind of like my mission statement, I guess you could say. And what that means is everything you do or say sows seeds of beauty or seeds of ugly. That's not it, but seeds of beauty, of love, or seeds of fear and destruction. And so squirrel constantly planting acorns and seeds and nuts, and he can't possibly remember any of what, he can't remember hardly any of the seeds. He buries more seeds than he can remember. I'll put it that way. Sorry, I'm stumbling over my own tongue. My tongue's getting squirrely. And so by doing that, he's actually planting forests. Not only are the forests providing for him, he is providing for the forests. He is planting trees, planting forests, creating shelter for the other animals, shelter for the birds, creating resources of more nuts and acorns and whatever. So by doing what he loves, he's benefiting the entire woodland, right? And by doing that, he's also providing for his own future, because then there's more trees shedding more nuts for him to gather and to bury and to eat. So living in abundance is not about saving and hoarding and making sure you have enough, in case something bad happens, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having like a bank account and having a comfortable amount of money to take from, to borrow from, or whatever. That is self-care as well. But what I'm saying is that true abundance is not acquiring things. Like, we are not Ferengi. Do not live by the laws of acquisition. Being in abundance is being in the flow of the universe. Receiving, being open to receive the abundance of the universe, and then letting it flow. It's really about the flow. You know, it's called currency for a reason, because it's a current. Money, currency is meant to flow. If it stops, then it gets stagnant, and it then benefits nobody. It's only healthy if it flows. So be in the flow of abundance. You know, let the abundance move through you. Be open to receive and see the abundance. Like I know I have everything I need, so I don't need to have things gathered around and stored up just in case, because I know from experience, if I need something like the car I mentioned earlier, you know, we need a car, boom, holy crap, there's a car. When I need information, I just put it out there to the universe. Okay, I need this. Boom, someone shows up with that information, or someone shows up with the object that I need, or someone gives me the advice, shows me how to do something that I didn't know how to do before. Whatever it is, that is abundance. Having what you need when you need it. It's not about hoarding and having a pile of stuff to keep you safe. That is living in fear. That is projecting that fear into the future. And so if you're expecting to be present in the future because of all this stuff you've done in the past, well, you're just going to carry that sense of scarcity into your future, and you will never feel complete. I just like a half hour ago, or just before this video I started, I was reading something, and I don't remember the names of the people, but there was it was some party at some millionaire's place, and there was the one guy was teasing another guy because what's his face just made more than you've ever made, made more in a month than you have ever made in your life. And the other guy was like, but I have something that he will never have. And the first guy's like, well, what's that? And he said, enough. It was like, I don't need to keep acquiring. I don't need to keep upping the ante. That guy is going to be scrimping and saving for the rest of his life. He's always going to be after more, more, more. He is never going to have enough. He's never going to be complete, no matter how much he acquires. It will never be enough. But I have enough. I do not have to keep chasing more, right? So be present. Know that in this moment, at this time, you have everything you need. You can only be in this moment. This moment is all we have. And if there is something that you need, a desire or something, put it out there to the universe, with the understanding that the universe will provide it for you. It has to. I won't go into the law of attraction and all of that, but, if you have a desire for something, if you need something, like I said, I need a bit of information to know how to handle this situation. Boom, somebody shows up with that information. Whatever it is, know that it's already yours, that you already have enough. That not only do you have enough, you are enough. You do not have to, we keep talking about abundance and scarcity in terms of money, but money is not the only standard of abundance. Abundance is having shelter, having friends, having love, having self-love, knowing that you are enough, and that you don't have to keep chasing validation or approval or permission in order to feel validated, to feel like you're doing enough to earn your way. You do not have to earn your way in this life. You are here, and that is proof enough that you deserve to be here. You do not have to earn your passage on this planet. You are enough. Okay? All right. So 3. Number 3, if 3 is your card, this has been coming up a lot lately. We have butterfly. Butterfly, of course, is about transformation. And, you know, our entire world is in the state of transformation. It feels like it's getting a little lighter now, and there's hope, and things are kind of coming together. And that's kind of like getting ready to emerge from that cocoon. But one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that when the caterpillar goes into the cocoon, it totally disintegrates. It doesn't just go into the cocoon and then sprout wings and then comes out and can fly. The DNA of a caterpillar is totally different from the DNA of the butterfly. The caterpillar has, in its body, it has antibodies that keep it from changing. It's like the butterfly genes, or whatever you want to call it, are there, but the caterpillar's body reacts to them as if it was were a virus, and so it has antibodies that keep those genes at bay while it is a caterpillar. But once it goes into the cocoon, those antibodies die off, and those new genes or whatever of the butterfly start to take over, and the caterpillar literally dissolves into a genetic soup. There is no form there. And then the DNA literally rearranges itself, rewrites itself into the DNA of a butterfly. So the two animals are literally two different beings. And so when you go through the transformation of a butterfly, if this is your card, it means that you are being rewritten from the base up. That when whatever transformation you're going through personally, whatever transformation, you know, you may have felt confused and worthless and like you had no direction, like you were confined, like there was like these bounds that wouldn't let you go. You've been in the dark for so long. That was the cocoon holding you in love in order to let you change and transform into who you came here to be. And so, like, as that transformation takes place and the butterfly begins to take form, it begins to push itself out of the cocoon. And this is another important thing. Like, coming out of the cocoon after this period of darkness, of formlessness, of feeling pointless, of having no purpose, you reform, but you're still confined. And it's in pushing through those threads of the cocoon that the butterfly gains the strength it needs to fly. Like, if you were to, like, cut open a cocoon and let the butterfly out, the butterfly will die because it will not be able to fly. It's in pushing against that resistance of the cocoon that pushes this fluid from its chest up into its wings. And it's that which allows it to fly. So it didn't have that resistance. It's like doing reps or exercises, right? So when little challenges come up in your life, when you're facing challenges and it's hard, remember that you're just exercising. You're just filling your wings, and eventually you will be able to fly over all of it. You will be free. You're in the process. What is happening is that you're in the process of dropping all the heavy, excessive, blah, blah, blah. I'm not even going to try to say that word. all the excess weight that you've been carrying in your life as far as baggage and scripts and expectations. You know, you're dropping all of those things that are trying to tell you what to do. You're finally getting out from under all of that, those layers that have been holding you down for so long. You know, you think about the caterpillar whose world is maybe like that big, living on the same branch, eating the same leaves, and that's his entire world. And he goes from that, going into the dark night of the soul, into the cocoon, and then emerges light enough that all he needs is the nectar of flowers to survive. That's all he needs. And he has the ability to fly from one end of the planet to the other, right? You go from a world this big to the entire globe. That's what is happening. You are actually achieving your freedom. You're letting go of all those things and people and situations and attitudes that have held you back, that have held you grounded. You know, just like a hot air balloon when they drop the sandbags over the side so they get more lift, that's what's happening. It feels like the universe is pushing against you, but you're actually pushing out. The universe isn't getting any tighter. It isn't pushing in, making it tighter, choking you. You're actually growing. You're actually outgrowing your old world, and you're pushing out of the comfort zones into this newfound freedom where none of that other stuff matters anymore. And you get to fly free as far as you want. And you get to display your full colors, you know, your true colors. You don't have to be afraid of holding them inside anymore. They're out for the world to see because no one can hold you down. You're beautiful, you're radiant, you're inspirational, and all you're doing is being yourself, having a heck of a time flying through the air, living off the flowers. You know, it's the more healthier, more whole we each get, the better off the entire world is. We help each other, support each other, lift each other, and that lifts everybody. So by taking care of yourself, you're automatically taking care of everybody in the world. So, wow, I finished before an hour. Awesome. Tell you what, okay. Extra card. This is for everybody. So, card number 4. You don't have to choose 4. This is a card for everybody. Seeing as we have some extra time. Owl is about justice, about seeing to the heart of the matter. Owl is Owl has as good of eyesight as eagle does, only owl sees in the dark. In fact, a lot of people refer to them as night eagles. The other thing, well, there's so much stuff about owl. Maybe that wasn't the right card to pull right now with 10 minutes left because I could go on for hours. But owl is also the only bird who is silent in its flight. So at the same time that you're flying through the day, woohoo, here I am, you know, at the same time, you're under no obligation to announce to anyone what you are doing. You can run silent, run deep. You do not have to justify yourself to anybody. Your path, your mission in life, that is something only you are privy to. And you do not have to disclose that to anybody. You don't have to justify yourself. You don't have to give excuses. you get to do what you came here to do. And this is about that seeing to the heart of the matter, even through the dark. One definition of shaman is one who sees in the dark. That's why owl is such a powerful totem for shamans, because owl sees in the dark. Owl sees in the heart of the darkness what is there. And this is why the Greek goddess Athena, who is the goddess of justice, she's also a goddess of war, but she is also the one credited with giving us our justice system. Blind justice, because she always had owl sitting on her shoulder. And looking through the eyes of owl, she could see through any subterfuge, through any excuses, through any arguments or whatever that anyone was trying to put up, any fallacies. She could see the truth. She could see to the heart. This is about seeing the truth. Look into your own heart and see the truth of who you truly are, and then live your life unapologetically. You do not need to defend yourself. You do not need to justify yourself. If someone tries to come at you, you're gone before they even know it, because they can't hear you, they can't see you, because it's interesting. So we have this, if 3 was your card and you got butterfly, you have this interesting dichotomy of light and dark, and how the dark is the creative force, it's the feminine force, it's the creative, the wild part. Remember what I was talking about with a possum, and how you bring in this wild element by being unpredictable and making people have to go off script in order to figure out how to reply to you. That wild, that's the feminine, that's the divine feminine, the untamable darkness. And you can create anything in the dark, and then you bring it into the light. So there's nothing in the dark to fear. Don't be afraid of your shadow self. Don't be afraid of the dark. There is nothing, like I said at the beginning, you are divine love, divine light, divine joy. That is your essence. And if you dig down far enough, that's all you're going to find. So if you find scary things, if you find things you don't like, those are only temporary. That's part of the character, not the actor of who you are. So if you find those kind of things, keep going. You didn't go deep enough yet. Those are just temporary. Those are surface things. Go to the heart of the matter, and then you realize that you are divine. Okay? So I think that's where we're going to call it now. So again, number 1 was a possum. Number 2 was squirrel. Actually, I was reading the other day where moose and squirrel came up together, and I was like, where is moose and squirrel? Number 3 is butterfly. And the bonus card that goes for everybody is owl. So look at your heart. Believe in your heart. See your heart. Don't let anyone... Okay, this goes hand in hand with all the cards. Don't let anyone else convince you of who you are. You yourself know who you are. You yourself are the only one who can know who you are and what you came here for. And no one else can pull the wool over your eyes. No one else can deceive you, because you can see the truth of who you are, the truth of your own heart. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Please feel free to check out my website if you really enjoyed that and you would like a personal reading with me, and you get 5 cards to yourself, and they're all uniquely, this is kind of like the general newspaper horoscope kind of thing. But in a personal reading, you get 5 cards, and they all relate to you. They all play with each other, relate to each other, tell a better story, a fuller story of what you might need to know. So consider that if there's something I can do to help you. I am here to help and to support you. That is my job. I am here to empower you, to empower others. If I can do it through the cards, I am so happy to do that. Check out my website, perchingwolfstudios.net, and you can connect with me there. You can see what other shamanic services I offer, other ways that I can help to support you and help you to find your wholeness, help you to find your power, to be that authentic person that we so dearly need in this time and place. Also, if you enjoyed this, feel free to share it. I'm here every Monday night, 7:30 Pacific time. So please come back and see me next week. If you've been here for many weeks since I started this, I don't know how long ago. Thank you so much for your constant support. If you're here for the first time, again, thank you so much for checking me out, giving me a chance. If you like this, please feel free to share. Invite your friends next week. And just to let you know, too, I do a second live video, Facebook video on Wednesday evenings at 7 o'clock Pacific time, where I do a sacred pipe ceremony to kind of create some sacred space for people to come and just kind of join our energies together and to offer our prayers and intentions in this beautiful space of love for the betterment of humankind, for the betterment of ourselves. It's a beautiful place, and both these videos are highlights of my week. I so enjoy doing this. I so appreciate your presence here and your support. I will post this to my Facebook page, of course, and then I will also post it to my YouTube channel, Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel. So check out my YouTube channel too and subscribe. And I have all of most of these readings up there, as well as the sacred pipe ceremonies. So if you ever need more guidance, feel free to rewatch this video or other ones. Choose a number. You know, there is no time. It's all an illusion. So if you choose a number and watch one of the past videos, that's just as vibrant and vital as being present here right now. So thank you again. I know I'm starting to ramble. I probably need to go take a nap or something. So thank you again so much. And until I see you next time, remember that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. So go have a wonderful, wonderful week. Call on these lovely, beautiful animals if you need them. Rewatch the video if you need more guidance or whatever. Know that I'm always here to support you. And so until I see you again, go shining. All right. Bye.